So, I mean, in order for the OTT market to really take off in the US, we've seen what we call auxiliary hardware providers come to market, folks like Roku, Amazon with the Fire sticks and boxes, among others, and this enabled, obviously, consumers to access over-the-top content. What we also see developing, though, is the concept that most of the TVs folks are purchasing these days, or virtually all of them, are smart TVs. So you can actually natively just connect directly to your streaming content through the TV itself. You don't necessarily need an extra stick or box. And for the most part, consumers have accessed OTT through these auxiliary sticks and boxes. They were really quick to develop great UIs and in many cases their own operating systems, which delivered a phenomenal user experience. They had built out really robust app ecosystems to ensure they had all of the necessary apps, sort of the latest and greatest version, and they've capitalized on that momentum and scale. But we see some of the smart TV manufacturers as a little bit of a sleeping giant in the streaming ecosystem, where they too want to enable consumers to connect to their streaming content directly through their hardware. And we've even seen some of the incumbent hardware manufacturers start to partner with smart TV manufacturers in order to bring best of breed operating system and experiences to their consumers if they perhaps don't want to go down the road of developing their own. And so we see this as a really interesting opportunity, particularly when it comes to the advertising side, with the data that some of these folks who control the glass can bring to the table, particularly their ability to link the linear world and the streaming world together, given the access to and insights that they have to consumer behavior across both mediums. Obviously, if you control the glass, you have the ability to see and understand what's happening regardless of the connectivity point. So somebody could be watching linear TV through their traditional set-top box. They could be streaming content through the TV or another hardware provider, but with data like ACR, you can just focus on what's being played on the glass and help advertisers understand consumer behavior across both of those mediums. In general, OTT has really exploded in the US market specifically. At SpotX, we've seen it go from a single-digit percentage of the business to now more than 60% of the business in just a 2-year period. And I think the circumstances around the linear TV business in the US are what has really propelled that model. In the US, the vast majority of the population pays for TV. They're accustomed to paying quite a bit. On average, not uncommon to pay $100 plus a month for your pay TV service. And the ad loads in the US at 16 plus minutes an hour were typically larger than what we see in other markets. So with those circumstances, I think it's really helped to propel the disruption that OTT has created, whereas in other markets, free-to-air may be a much more popular method of consuming TV, ad loads may be lower, and folks are not accustomed to those large pay TV bills, which I think has things moving at a different speed outside of the US market.